Hi, this is my first Valentino post. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't have any equipment, but I wanted to get this up today. My blog is Rudolph Valentino Connections. I'll put the information down below. And what I wanted to focus on today, though, and get this up really quickly, was that 100 years ago today, Rudolph Valentino actually wrote a check, which I have. And there's a very interesting story about it. The backstory, it's a wonderful collectible. And on May 11th, today, Rudolph Valentino wrote a check, number 10008 in green ink, payable to Walter M. Murphy Motors for the sum of $200, drawn on his account at the Hollywood branch of the Citizens Trust and Savings Bank, Los Angeles. And this is the check. Okay. It was signed R. Valentino. I've touched it only one time. It's extremely thin, and the paper almost feels like fabric. It's so different from the stiff paper we see in our modern day checks. Maybe time has taken its toll because 100 years ago is such a long time, yet this check really is now in my life today. I tell the story of this check. I have some pictures here of the bank at the time and where it was located. It was located on a side street off of Sunset Boulevard and very close to where the present-day Hollywood Forever Cemetery is. I have a timeline here because during this part of 1921, the months before and after this check were pivotal in the life and career of Rudolph Valentino. To summarize this timeline, the filming of Conquering Power was completed in a few weeks by the end of March 1921. Now, after this film was finished, Valentino wouldn't really have any work until July 1921, when he, of course, signed to and started playing The Sheik. It started production on July 5th, 1921. Now, this is the period where he gets together with Rambova. They begin to live together basically, and they go on hunting and they scavenge for mussels. But he was in debt anyway because he had bought something like 25 suits in New York City to use in the role in the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and the studio did not pay for these suits. So he was in debt. But anyway, he still wanted to spend $200, which in today's money is about almost $3,000 at Murphy Motors on May 11th, 1921. And it seems like he really did have the need for speed. I recount from Leader's book here a little clip about how he supposedly had raced on a Fiat at 120 miles an hour and came in second rather. And I detail how Rambova, said automobiles were really his downfall. He had purchased a Mercer, which at the time was really the first sports car. He bought it on installment. And in today's prices, the range ranging from about $3,600 to $5,600, it would really be almost, if we rounded off to $5,000, it would be something like $74,000 in today's money. But the ad here is very good because it shows why it appealed to him, because the car is low, vigorous, and full of pep and power, and is an excellent buy for a man who wishes snappy style combined with unlimited service. Now, he started borrowing Rambova's car, and she had what was called a runabout. We think it could have been a roadster. There was very little difference by this time, except that the runabout, the seat was further back on the body. But whatever it was, it didn't have enough pickup. So he wanted speed, and he cajoled her into allowing him to trade in her runabout or car from, that she had, and buy this, what is usually called a 1914 Cadillac, but Donna Hill says it's 1915. Now, he loved Cadillacs already. He knew about them because he had been shuttled around to the studio and during the filming of The Four Horsemen in a Cadillac limousine. So he was already sold on Cadillacs. But the difference in the years is kind of critical because the discrepancy is very important, because In late 1914, Cadillac introduced a new engine for 1915, and this was the first V8 engine produced. It had a cooling system, and it was later adopted by all manufacturers. So this was a huge difference between the 1914 and the 1915, and I detail that here. And I have pictures of one being built and a restored 1914 model looking very similar to the car he actually worked on. And you can see he put little spots on here. Rambova describes some of the things. I noticed also there's a windshield here that is different from a standard model. So custom trim, that kind of thing. Now, he apparently worked on this while he was, working on the Chic. And what's really amazing, though, there are YouTube videos which actually you can hear the sound of the engine because people have rebuilt the engine. They start it up. So it's really incredible to think that you can listen to the engine that Valentino listened to 100 years ago. Now, it brings us back to the Czech. Walter and Murphy Motors, which was founded in 1920, was really a dealership. And then they later on started building these bodies that went on the chassis of different cars for the industrialists and the wealthy clients, including movie stars, right? And they were well known for Duesenberg bodies. But at the time, when Valentino went there to buy parts, they were working with Cadillacs a little bit. And it's logical to assume that Valentino wrote this check on May 11th to buy parts from the Walter M. Murphy's Motor Company that he needed for his restoration work. So that check, I'm going to go back up to our check, the check that he wrote really tells the story of that day. He went to Murphy Motors in Pasadena, he wrote the check, and he maybe went home, chatted with the guys about the parts, went home and maybe worked on his car. So the proof is in the check. So I am so happy to have this check and share it with you. And hopefully you'll visit my blog. I've got a lot of interesting research that's done already and more coming. So I'll leave it down at the bottom, the address, the website. So thanks for bearing with the poor quality of this video. And we'll see you soon, maybe in better quality. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.